Shalom. First and foremost, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone to rule well and teach well. Peace and salutations unto the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And in this video, I wanted to do a quick hit on Revelation, the 13th chapter. Alright, the Charagma. Which I'm gonna start at the 15th verse. Revelation chapter 13 verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And as he is talking about this second beast that John the Revelator saw in the 11th chapter up above, where it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And this other beast that he saw was basically talking about America. These modern day American system, along with NATO in the EU. That would basically was set up in power. To bring back to power that ancient Roman system. That ancient Roman Empire system. Where the Roman Empire was in rulership, along with the European vassal states that helped keep it in rulership, and that ruled with it. Verse 12, Revelation 13 and 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. The first beast before America is talking about the Roman Empire. America, along with NATO and the EU, is exercising all of the power of that ancient Roman system. By doing what? Through its Senate, the two-party political system, the judicial system, or the military. Hence why you see the American military spread out throughout, basically throughout the four corners of the earth. Just as the ancient Roman military was spread out throughout different regions of the earth, during its time. It says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Rome was the Western Roman Empire was wounded in 193 AD. By a man by the name of Septimius Severus, along with the men who fought under Septimius Severus, which were all Israelites. All Jakes, by the way. It was Jake, back in 193 AD, that wounded that Western pagan, Roman Empire, and basically took it over. And then by the time, the early, 4th century AD came in. The early, 300s AD. It was basically it marked basically the beginning of the Eastern Roman Empire, which was headquartered out of at the time was known as Constantinople, Turkey. Which today is known as Istanbul, Turkey. Constantinople, Turkey was the headquarters of the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire. So it says at the latter part of verse 12, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And how is America, as well as the NATO and the EU beast system, is causing all on the earth to worship the first beast system, the ancient Roman system, as well as parts of the ancient Greek system as well. How is it doing that? We can clearly see it through its medical industry. Because the American medical field is all rooted in idol worship. Idol worship in ancient Greco, Roman, gods of healing and medicine, namely that of Asclepius. Because when you go back, when you study ancient Greek mythology, one of the gods that you come across is the ancient Greek god Asclepius, which is known as the ancient Greek god of medicine and healing. Okay, and with Asclepius, he also had a symbol or a logo. Okay, which was a wooden pole or staff with a snake wrapped around it. Okay, which is known as the rod of Asclepius. And today you see that very same logo or symbol being used as the symbol for the American medical field, as well as the main symbol for the WHO. Okay, the World Health O. All you got to do is just go on Google and go to images and look up the symbol or the logo for the World Health O, or the WHO, the WHO. Okay. So now jumping down to verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Okay, and when you read the verse above, it talks about how this second beast, this American and NATO beast system, would have the power to make fire come down from heaven, which goes back to the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II, which the creator of the atomic bomb was by this guy Robert Oppenheimer. Okay, who has a famous quote in history where he referred to himself as death. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Okay, so that was one of the main miracles, okay, that this America and the NATO beast system has used in its current day to deceive the masses of the people that dwell on the earth. Okay, because it was a miracle in the sight of mankind. But verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Okay, and we can see today he's performing miracles. All right, Esau Edom through his American system. He's performing more, even more miracles in this present day through his pseudoscience and technology. Okay, namely that of the Charagma, which we're gonna read as we continue reading further down. Okay, he's using the Charagma, to perform miracles of pseudo salvation, and pseudo healing, for through left hand, carnal, sinister means. Okay, because here it is. You have guys like Elon Musk, who's saying that pretty much when the year 2022 comes in, which we're just a couple of weeks away from, less than a couple of weeks away from, here it is. You have this guy Elon Musk, pretty much saying that once the year 2022 comes in, okay, he wants to further push for the to create micro tag technology, okay, microscopic tags, to be implanted in the foreheads, which he already has that technology, okay, on deck, so to speak. He's got, when you go on YouTube and just look up a video of, monkey plays a video game with his mind. Okay, you'll come across videos where, basically he has a monkey, playing, video games, just simply with his brain. Okay, and that miracle was performed, okay, by the implementation of a microscopic tag, okay, so to speak, inside of that monkey's head. Okay, and also if you go on YouTube and look up videos of a pig, okay, where this guy Elon Musk had a microscopic tag put inside of a pig, okay, it'll show you that he basically used that tag, all right, that Charagma, to basically play on the mind of that pig, making it aggressive when he wants, making it aggressive and attack when he wants it to, making it stop, and making it stop, being aggressive and attacking whenever he wants it to, making it do this, making it do that, and the third, and so on and so forth. Okay, all through that left hand, or technology through, with that Charagma being in his head. All right, so that's, definitely a miracle on the left hand side that's spoken of here in this 14th verse, Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. Okay, and we definitely see the image of this of the first beast system, that Greco-Roman system, playing out through America. Because America has basically modeled itself after that ancient Roman system. Okay, in various ways. The government structure, the military, the judicial system. All right, even this, even down to its architecture. When you look at certain buildings, okay, it's modeled after ancient buildings in the ancient Roman Empire. Look at the Wall Street building, for example, as well as these sports and arenas. Okay, modeled, all right, after the ancient Roman Colosseum. All right, so it says that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And as I went over earlier, it was wounded by the sword in 193 AD by Septimius Severus, but it did live. Okay, it came back to life. And when and where did it come back to life? Through a period called the so-called Renaissance period, starting in the late 1300s, early 1400s. Okay, where you had various Edomite elite families that emerged out of that era. Okay, namely the Borgia family. All right, where eventually through that period you had the image of Cesare Borgia, okay, painted, which would then be go on to be known as the so-called image of Jesus. Okay, through in a plantation in a religion of plantation Christianity. All right, through the picture of Cesare Borgia, as well as many other things that Esau Edom was doing around that time. Okay, that was the main way of him going around the earth and promoting himself to be God on the planet Earth, as well as performing left-hand pseudo miracles during that particular time. All right, and basically forcing the whole world to bow down and worship his system and his way of life. Okay, so like it. And now we can see Esau Edom, okay, pretty much promoting himself to be God on the planet Earth, once again, all over again, through his pseudoscience and technology, and especially with the upcoming of this Charagma that's soon getting ready to be forced throughout the four corners of the earth. So it says, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, and as brothers are always going to, when you look up this word killed, it's like it. All right, because here it is, this devil is getting ready to come with that great wrath. Okay, through his medical system, and as well eventually through the Charagma. Through him forcing the Charagma upon all on the planet Earth. Okay, he's getting ready to come down with that great wrath to basically force everybody to bow down and worship the image of his beast system, as well as force everybody to take the Charagma. So this is the word killed in Revelation 13 and 15.
Strong's G 2443, Hina.
All right, it says that in Salakia. Hold up, I think that's the wrong one. This is the correct one. Salakia, brothers.
Strong's G 615, Apaktaino. apoktaino.
All right, and it says to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish. Okay, metaphorically, to extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death, to deprive of spiritual life, and procure eternal misery in hell, which that's going off, because we know in the scriptures there's no such place, okay, known as hell, where you go down into the earth and burn forever. So that's going off. But nonetheless, we know ultimately that he's going to impose pass draconian laws and frame mischief by law, as the scripture says in Psalms, to have people physically put to death. Okay, and especially the men of the Lord. Okay, he's going to cause certain men of the Lord to be martyrs, for the word, for not worshiping the image of his beast system, nor receive his charagma. But now when you go into the root word, and as brothers always go into.
Strong's G 575. Apa.
And it says, of separation, of local separation, after verbs of motion from a place, i.e. of departing, of fleeing, of separation of a part from the whole. Okay, definition C, of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. Of a state of separation that is of distance. So basically, if you don't worship the image of this beast system, okay, and bow down, okay, ultimately they're gonna cut you off from society. They're gonna separate you and basically label you as an outcast. All right, and especially they're especially gonna do those things. All right, if you refuse to receive that charagma, which is foretold here in the 16th verse, Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, so basically, it's going to come a point in time in which those of us that's in the know, we can see that time is nearer than ever. That time is at hand, where now this devil is getting ready to lose his mind and force the whole world, okay, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that charagma. Because the technology is already here. Over there in Sweden, okay, they basically already created a charagma, for to basically put your jab status, okay, to attach your jab status to that charagma, okay, so that certain businesses and restaurants and whatnot can be able to log into their system, okay, to see whether you've taken the jab or not. Okay, that technology is already here. The vision is already speaking, as it says in Habakkuk 2 and 3. And when you go into this word, all right,
Strong's G 5480. Charagma.
and it means what? A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah, which there's not just one single anti-Messiah on the planet Earth, because the scriptures tell you in 1 John 2 and 18 that there's many anti-Messiahs, okay, on the earth. Okay, and he said that, the Apostle John said that 2,000 years ago, and how much more now? All right, because this whole system as a whole is anti-Messiah. It's a anti-Messiah ungodly system. All right, spearheaded by the man of sin himself, Esau Edom. It says the mark branded upon horses thing carved, sculpture, graven work. Okay, graven work, showing you what that this charagma, which is the microscopic tag or the grain of rice, is an idol. Okay, and it even says it right here of idolatrous work. So if you receive that charagma or the grain of rice, you're basically it's idol worship. You're basically worshiping the idols of Esau Edom. Okay, which is the breaking of the very first commandment of Yahweh Shema Shai. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Nor bow down to graven images. So literally, if you receive that charagma, and if you're following an Israelite teacher or Israelite group that tells you that the MOB is not the tag or the microscopic tag, and that God doesn't care if you get the thing put inside of your body, well, they're basically persuading you to worship other gods. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you read in the law, okay, the law warns us about false prophets that will persuade our people into worshiping other gods. This is Deuteronomy 13:1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. So in other words, if you if you come across a false prophet, a false Israelite teacher, or even a false Christian pastor, that's well, in this case, since we're on the topic of the charagma, that's telling you that it's okay for you to receive that tag. Okay, that the MOB is basically anything other than the tag, saying that it's Christianity, and embargo is, sin, and this, that, and the third. Okay, what's that tag, as we just showed, is linked to idol worship. Basically, if you come across a false prophet that's telling you to worship other gods, okay, and to telling you to receive that tag, which is all rooted in idol worship, it says what? Verse 3, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your power proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your power with all your heart and with all your soul. So you see that? So it's instructed of you in the law to not hearken unto any false Israelite leader of false Christian pastor or whatnot. All right, that's persuading you to tell you to get the tag, okay, and that it's okay for you to take it, and that it's not the MOB, and that the Most High doesn't care whether you put it in your body or not. No, the law, the scripture is plainly telling you, don't listen to that person. Okay, don't be beguiled by that person, because ultimately he's coming in the spirit of the serpent from the garden. Because what did the serpent tell Eve in the garden? Thou shalt surely not die. And that's exactly what these false Israelite leaders from these different groups, as well as these pastors, are basically telling you. All right, well, concerning the micro tag, okay, that you won't surely die if you receive it. All right, and that the Most High doesn't care if you receive it. And then down to verse 9, because here it gives you the judgment on what's to happen to that false, or that false prophet, or that false leader. Deuteronomy 13:9. But thou shalt surely kill him, thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. Now, of course, we know in this current society, we're not at liberty or at sovereignty to go around killing people, okay, as we will, physically putting people to death. But nonetheless, that's basically the mindset that you should have, or towards that false prophet, for the Most High to basically put him to death. Okay, because what did the Apostle Paul say? All things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. Okay, it's not expedient, it's not necessary or beneficial for you to carry this this judgment out on these false preachers and prophets and leaders. Okay, you leave that up to Yahweh Shema Shah to deal with that person and to bring judgment on them. But nonetheless, okay, the scriptures warns us about false prophets that would persuade us to go after other gods, and especially persuade us to receive the Charagma. Okay, so now let's go to Ezekiel 35. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 35. All right, because when you read the book of Ezekiel 35, okay, it's basically the Most High sending the prophet Ezekiel to basically prophesy against Mount Seir, which represents Esau Edom. Okay, which the prophet Ezekiel, represents all of the prophets as a whole. Okay, even down to the least of us in this current day. All right, so Ezekiel 35 and 10. Because thou hast said, or because Esau Edom has said in his heart, what did Esau Edom say? These two nations and these two countries shall be mine. And what are the two nations and the two countries that it's talking about? The northern and southern kingdoms of Israel. Okay, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the southern kingdom, as well as Ephraim and Manasseh, and the rest of the northern kingdom tribes. All right, Gad, Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and so on and so forth. It says, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. And how is Esau Edom looking to possess the northern and southern kingdoms of Israel? Okay, by planting, because first of all, it says we will possess it. Okay, now the scriptures tell you in the Apocrypha, he that getteth a wife, getteth a possession. And how does a man, get a wife? How does a man eventually become a husband to a woman? By, through the act of sex, by planting his, seed into that woman. Okay, and how, in a spiritual sense, how is Esau Edom looking to, to plant his seed into the Lord's woman, the nation of Israel, through the Charagma, that grain of rice, that microscopic tag, okay, that he may possess, basically possess the Lord's woman, all right, whereas the Lord was there, and by planting his seed into the Lord's woman, the northern and southern kingdoms of Israel, that's how ultimately he's going to sit in the Lord's temple, as the scripture says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. As a matter of fact, let's get that. All right, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And that falling away started in 70 AD, when the Roman Empire invaded Israel and invaded in Jerusalem, and sacked the second temple and said, what, raise it, as the scripture says in Psalms 137. It says, and that falling away period lasted from 70 AD up until the early 1970s, when after that 3.5 day period that's spoken of in Revelation the 11th chapter, it says what, the spirit of life came down from the Most High, basically upon the remnant, to roughly paraphrase what it says in that chapter. Okay, the early 70s, once the Holy Spirit came down upon the remnant of our people to wake us up to the fact that we were Israelites. Okay, and as well, set up Abba Bivens. All right, Abba Bivens during that time. All right, that ultimately marked the end of that falling away period, and we started, a remnant of our people started to come back to Yahweh Shema Shai. But it says, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And who is the man of sin? All right, Esau Edom, the son of perdition, which means when you go to that word perdition, it means destruction. Because Esau Edom is the wicked that the Most High created for the day of destruction. That's in Proverbs 16:4. But it says, verse 4, 2 Thessalonians 2:4, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High. And Esau Edom, through his this NATO American NATO and EU beast system, he's opposeth and exalted himself above all that has anything to do with Yahweh Shema Shai. Through his pseudoscience, his technology, and especially, through his Charagma. Okay, because this is all one big, anti-Messiah, ungodly system. Okay, that is through Esau Edom and his system, he's basically trying to set up a kingdom of heaven, for on the left hand, for wickedness, to set up Satan's rulership on the planet Earth. But it says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High. Okay, and how is he trying to be as the Most High? Through his technology, his pharmakeia, and his military, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And how is he trying to sit in the temple of the Most High? Which, first of all, what is the temple of the Most High? All right, the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. And he's trying to sit, all right, in the Lord's temple by putting his idol in the temple, just as Antiochus Epiphanes did, back during the time of the ancient Greeks, which you can read about in the book of Maccabees. All right, First Maccabees, the 1st and 2nd chapters, where it talks about he entered into the temple proudly, started setting up idols in the temple, and altars, sacrificing swine's flesh in the temple. Okay, that's ultimately what Esau Edom is trying to do all over again. He's trying to sack, all right, the third temple, which now is a spiritual temple, because that temple is made up of men. Okay, by doing what? By putting his idol in the third temple. And how is he going to do that? Through the Charagma. Okay, so that he sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And through, all right, Esau Edom forcing the Charagma upon the four corners of the earth, that's how he's going to, show himself to be God on the planet Earth, and to, show himself that he's the Most High, the omniscient, the omnipotent, and omnipresent, all right, power on the planet Earth. And that's how he's going to deceive the masses of the people through those left-hand miracles. So for all these Israelite camps and these Israelite leaders and these different pastors and whatnot, that's telling you that it's okay. That it's okay for you to bow down to this man's system and take the Charagma. Okay, you're basically you're basically allowing this man to defile the Lord's temple. Okay, you're basically telling our people, to trust in a man of sin, because here it is, sin, since the beginning, has always plagued our people and got us into different situations to where we always needed the Lord or to deliver us out of. But now here it is, going into 2022, you still have our people, certain leaders of our people, telling our people to trust in the man of sin. Okay, which was that old serpent that was back in the garden. Okay, that ultimately made Eve and then Adam go off. So, when you put your trust in this man and you allow this man to put his seed in you, then you're basically allowing this man to defile your temple. Okay, and we know what the scripture says about, all right, defiling your temple. All right, let's get it. Let's see. Yep, 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. So here it is. The Most High created our people to be holy. Okay, but you're letting, all right, but you're letting, unclean and unholy things enter into you. So therefore, what the Most High has to destroy you. Because basically you're letting another man, plant his seed into you, which you are, us Israelites, we're the Most High's woman. So basically, what we're, when you allow this devil to plant his seed into you, you're allowing him. Okay, you're basically committing adultery against the Most High, and we know the law on adultery is death. The judgment on a man or a woman that's caught in adultery is ultimately death, and that's exactly what the Lord is going to bring to all of our people. Okay, especially those of us that know that we're Israelites, that's going to consent unto this man. So now, going back to the word Charagma. So it means a stamp or imprinted mark. Okay, thing carved, a graven work of idolatrous image. Now, when you go into the root word,
Strong's G 5482, Charax. Charax.
like karax, and it means what? A pale or stake, a palisade or rampart, pales between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. All right, so it's a pale or a stake. Now let's look up this word pale. Let's see. Okay, it says pales of a fence, stake, post, pole, paling, picket, upright, palisade. Let's see. Let's look up stake. See what's no, not that stake. Let's see what that means. Okay, it says a strong wooden or metal post with a point at one end, driven into the ground to support a plant. Oh, you see that? Driven into the ground to support a plant. So this charagma, okay, this stake is talking about something that's physically, okay, going to be driven into your right hand, or any hand in general, because Revelation 20, it speaks about how, all right, this charagma will be forced into either your hand, either hand or your forehead. It doesn't specifically say, left hand or right hand, because really, it doesn't matter which hand you get it in. If you get it, are you going to be destroyed? But it says, definition number 1, it says a strong wooden or metal post with a point at one end, driven into the ground to support a plant, from part of a fence, or to mark a boundary. So you see that? So this charagma, okay, is going to be something physical. That's first and foremost. It's going to be something physical, not spiritual, like you have some Israelites teaching. Okay, it's going to be something physically, all right, driven into your hands or your foreheads. Okay, and then for the purpose of what? For the purpose of allowing you to buy and sell. Okay, but it's also, as it says at the latter part of this definition, to mark a boundary. Okay, so it's going to mark a boundary. Okay, saying, for this devil to say, okay, hey, this is my woman, this is my possession. She don't belong to you, she belongs to me now. All right. So clearly we can see that the charagma is not talking about something spiritual or Christianity or an embargo or sin or this, that, and the third. No, it's talking about something that will physically be put inside of your hands or your foreheads. Okay, to basically signify you as a a follower or worshiper of this anti-Messiah system. Okay, And when you go into the next chapter, and then after that I'm going to end this off. When you go into the next chapter, ultimately what does it tell you of the judgment you're going to receive for taking that Charagma? Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his Charagma in his forehead or in his hand. So you notice even right here in Revelation 14, it doesn't say, it doesn't specify either right hand or forehead. It just simply says your hand, which can mean, any hand, or, just any part of your body in general, because even if, they stick it in your butt cheek, all right, that means you still got the Charagma. But it says, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his Charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, or the nuclear missiles, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Alright, so if you receive that Charagma, which is something obviously that's going to be physically driven inside of your skin, alright, you're going to be destroyed by Yahweh Shema Shai with the fire and the brimstone. Alright, in the presence of the holy angel and in the presence of the Lamb. Alright, so with that being said, don't take the Charagma. Don't allow this devil to sack the temple once again. Don't let this devil allow you to defile your temple, okay, and plant his seed into you and make you his woman, or else what? You're going to be destroyed and put to death, just as the law says. Or for a woman that's caught in the midst of adultery that doesn't cry out. All right. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom.